Welcome to your first lesson on English language learning. Before we begin, we would like to notify you, the learner, that while these lessons can be beneficial for those wanting to learn English, they have been specifically made for those who come from an Arabic-speaking background. Thus, our first lesson will be on sentence structure. For this, we have devised the Ddd method, which stands for the doer, the doing, and the done. The doer is the subject in the sentence, or the fa'il. The doing is the verb, or fa'il, and the done is the object, or the maf'ul bihi. The simplest sentence is, as expected, called a simple sentence. A simple sentence must contain at least two components: the subject, or the doer, fa'il, and the verb, or the doing, fa'il. It can also contain, but not necessarily, an object, or the done. Now let's look at each of these components as separate pillars holding up a building. You need at least two pillars to keep the building up: the subject, or the doer, and the verb, or the doing. For example, children play. Children is the subject and play is the verb. The children are the ones doing the action, and what they are doing is playing. As you can see, if you took either one of the pillars out, the sentence would no longer make sense, and the pillars would crumble. Children what? Who play? Therefore, a sentence must have both a subject and a verb. But also notice that this sentence is missing an object, or the done. Now the sentence says, children play football. You now know who is doing the action, what the action is, and to what the action is being done. This sentence has all three components of a standard simple sentence: the subject, the verb, and the object. You can also see that a sentence with all three of these components is more meaningful than a sentence with just two components: the subject and the verb. So overall, just like in Arabic, an English sentence is comprised of a subject, fa'il, or the doer, a verb, fa'il, or the doing, and an object, maf'ul bihi, or the done. Just remember, D.